A memorial for Black Lives Lost, not in a cemetery or a park, but on the front lawn of John Thorne's West Side Detroit home.
What if we try to honor each and every one of the people that we can on our front lawn with the cross and have their name?
Thorne says what started as a conversation about all the recent police brutality and racial injustices with his 13-year-old son turned into a history lesson, and this memorial dedicated to 53 lives lost to violence.
As we were researching, we found 150 names from the civil rights movement coming forward. For me, the Black Lives Matter movement really started with Emmett Till. When his mother Mamie said, "No, I want the world to see what they did to my boy."
Thorne says from those fighting for our civil rights to those killed by police or murdered just simply because of the color of their skin, they all deserve to be remembered. Since creating the memorial last week, each crossed by hand with the help of friends and family. Thorne says they have received hundreds of visitors to his home on Birchcrest Drive, just off 7 Mile.
People have come to pray. People have come to cry. It's been an emotion for everyone.
There are also pamphlets put out here for visitors so they don't just see a name and a face, but they also have their stories.
Every one of them, they had families and they had life.
In Detroit, April Morton, CW50, News at 10.
Lift every voice and sing.
The National Black Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, commenced the second annual City of Detroit Juneteenth celebration. Hundreds gathered at this freedom rally commemorating and reflecting on June 19, 1865, when the last slaves were freed in the U.S.
We are actually celebrating Black culture and Black life because there's much to celebrate, but there is much work to do. And now we have the attention of the world.
Charity Dean was one of a handful of speakers at the event that honored Black ancestors for the horrendous persecution they endured for centuries. Given the current climate of racial unrest in the country, many still believe that we have a ways to go in the fight against injustice.
I think it's a way to show that we are tired and we want it to stop.
I think in the modern era, Juneteenth should be a day in which we practice unity. Like, obviously that's something that's been lacking in our communities for a long time.
And history was made today when students from Detroit unveiled this powerful Power to the People mural that sits right on Woodward. The mural was created by renowned artist Herbert Massey and painted by Detroit youth from DPS Community District and Detroit Hills, Detroit.
Knowing that I did something as huge as this, it just makes me so happy.
20 years later, or even 30 years later, I can look back and see that I did that.
In Detroit, April Morton, CW50, News at 10. As of Wednesday afternoon, there's over 93,000 cases with 337 deaths statewide. Southeast Michigan being a hotbed for COVID-19. The death toll in the state is rising every day, but so is the survival rate.
I beat COVID-19 and I'm going home.
Shyla Harper got her walking papers Tuesday.
Hurt well, but I can walk.
And grateful to be able to walk out of Beaumont Royal Oak Hospital, where Shyla spent the last 10 days.
It felt like someone was cutting off my air. My chest was very tight. I felt like I was just gasping for air.
Shyla says, and that's when she knew it was time to take action.
I decided to drive myself there, and I felt myself tanking like all the way there.
And there was the ER at Beaumont Hospital. That was on March 22nd. Shyla says prior to then, she experienced paralyzing body aches and fevers of 103 for about a week. After arriving at the ER, she was admitted immediately and staff started critical care. Shyla says the following days were a complete nightmare.
On top of me battling the pneumonia, the sepsis, I still was battling the symptoms from the COVID infection, the fevers, the chills, the body aches.
Shyla says she started coming to terms that she was not leaving the hospital alive.
I had rationed everything in my head because, you know, I knew people were dying, and I didn't see any other avenue for me.
But there was another avenue for Shyla, and it's called life. In Rural Oak, April Morton, CW50, News at 10. We've all heard of Detroit versus everybody. Well, a big event taking place this weekend will bear its brand, but the name has changed to reflect our new reality.
Versus everybody, in which we have used this platform to come together with different organizations, such as Everybody versus Alopecia, Everybody versus Cancer.
Now the brand reads Everybody versus COVID-19. Founder and owner of Detroit versus Everybody, Tommy Walker, says he came up with the saying after seeing how COVID-19 has ravaged through not only our city, but the world.
It's got really real, very serious, and it's something that we need to all come together to and unite.
And this weekend, Walker will unite with Mayor Duggan, the city of Detroit, and local and national celebrities for the Everybody versus COVID-19 Online Unity Fest. The event will feature over 20 musical performances and appearances from big-name artists like Detroit's own Big Sean. The fest is meant to bring everyone together during this pandemic and provide some entertainment to those sheltered at home. Charity is one of the singers that will be performing.
To have this opportunity to have another Detroit moment, it's really perfect timing.
Performances range from rappers, poets, and comedians to the DSO. Legendary DJ D Nice will also make an appearance. The fest organizer, Eric Thomas, says all the artists are coming together with a powerful message.
COVID-19 hit us very hard, but because of the cooperation of Detroiters, because of the resiliency of Detroiters, we flattened that curve faster than probably any other city.
The Online Unity Fest takes place this Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. and can be found on all City of Detroit social media platforms. April Morton, CW50, News at 10.